Ever wondered what it would mean for Canada to become the 51st state? Let's dive into the surprising benefits and risks of this bold idea. The idea of Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States has been a topic of occasional discussion, with proponents and critics alike weighing the potential benefits and drawbacks. Here, we will explore the potential benefits and consequences of such a political shift for Canada. Potential benefits for Canada: economic growth and stability. Canada would likely benefit economically from becoming a U.S. state due to its access to the vast U.S. economy. As the world's largest economic power, the U.S. would offer Canadian industries expanded markets, improved trade agreements, and increased foreign investment. Canadian businesses in sectors like manufacturing, natural resources, and technology could thrive with full access to the U.S. economy. Enhanced global influence. As part of the United States, Canada would automatically gain a more prominent role on the world stage. The U.S. holds significant power in global politics, economics, and security, and Canada would benefit from this clout. As the 51st state, Canada would have a seat at international negotiations, such as those held at the United Nations or World Trade Organization, with U.S. backing. National security. Canada's proximity to the United States and its long-standing defense ties would mean that becoming a U.S. state could enhance its national security. The U.S. military is one of the most powerful in the world, and as a state, Canada would be fully integrated into U.S. defense systems, strengthening its security. In addition, the shared border would become even more secure, with fewer concerns about external threats or the defense of Canada's vast land mass. Social welfare programs. The U.S. offers various social safety nets, such as Social Security and Medicare, which could extend to Canadians if they became U.S. citizens. While Canada has a renowned healthcare system, becoming a U.S. state could provide Canadians with additional benefits and access to American programs, particularly for retirement and healthcare. This could be seen as an enhancement to the existing Canadian welfare system, although the implications of such programs would need careful consideration. Infrastructure and investment. Statehood could bring increased federal funding for infrastructure development in Canada. With U.S. federal support, Canada could see improvements in transportation, energy, and public utilities. Investment in public services, education, and technology might also increase, contributing to overall economic development and growth. Potential drawbacks for Canada: loss of sovereignty. One of the biggest disadvantages of Canada becoming the 51st state is the loss of its political autonomy. As an independent nation, Canada has the ability to make its own decisions regarding policy, foreign relations, and domestic governance. If Canada joined the U.S., its governance would be subject to U.S. federal laws and policies, including on issues such as taxation, healthcare, and social services. Cultural and identity erosion. Canada's national identity is distinct from that of the U.S., built on its history, multiculturalism, bilingualism, and values like peacekeeping and inclusivity. Joining the U.S. could lead to a dilution of this unique identity. The dominance of American culture and values might overshadow Canada's diversity and lead to a loss of the cultural pride Canadians currently enjoy. Political representation and fairness. Canada's parliamentary system and the relatively small size of its provinces compared to U.S. states could result in a lack of adequate political representation in Washington, D.C. U.S. states with larger populations dominate political decisions, and Canada's less populated provinces could struggle to be heard. Additionally, Canada's political system, which favors proportional representation, could clash with the U.S.'s presidential system and the Electoral College, which may not effectively represent Canadian interests. Regional disparities. Canada is a vast country with significant regional diversity, ranging from densely populated areas like Ontario and British Columbia to the more sparsely populated Northern Territories. If Canada became a state, there could be significant challenges in ensuring equitable treatment across regions. The federal government in Washington might focus more on the larger, more economically influential provinces, potentially leaving smaller or more remote regions underfunded or overlooked in favor of bigger states. Strained international relations. Canada's strong diplomatic ties with other countries could be strained if it became a U.S. state. As an independent nation, Canada has cultivated relationships with the Commonwealth, Europe, and other international partners. Statehood under the U.S. would mean that Canada's foreign policy would be dictated by Washington, and this could alienate some of its international allies. Conclusion: Canada's independent voice and unique national identity are integral to its current standing in the world, and the decision to become the 51st state would require careful consideration of the long-term impact on its political and cultural future. In the end, the decision of whether Canada would benefit from joining the U.S. remains highly subjective, depending on the priorities and values of the Canadian people.